Hi, Heartland kids. Today we're going to have a story from the Old Testament. It's from the book of 2 Kings. And this story is in your Jesus Storybook Bible. And we want to thank the people from Zondervan for letting us record stories for you while we're separated from each other, while we can't be at Sunday school. They are giving us permission to read stories on the videos. So this story is one of my favorite stories in the Bible because it is an amazing story about how powerful God is, but also how God uses us. And he really wants us to love each other well and to forgive each other, to forgive the people that do hurtful things to us sometimes. So this is a story about a little girl, the little servant girl, and the proud general. And it's on page 136 in your Jesus Storybook Bible. Naaman was a very important man in a very important army of a very important country. So you see, he was a very, very, very important man. But Naaman was sick. He had leprosy, which is a nasty thing that stops you from feeling anything. Bits of you falls off without you noticing, like bashed fingers and squished toes. It might sound funny, but it wasn't. And Naaman certainly wasn't laughing. There was no cure for leprosy. It never went away, and in the end, it killed you. Naaman needed help. Now there was a little slave girl who worked for Naaman, and she knew someone who could help him. But there was a problem. Naaman was her enemy. Not long before, Naaman had led an army raid on her home in Israel, and he had killed her whole family and carried her off to Syria and made her into his slave. Every night she cried herself to sleep. She had lost everything. Why would she, the little servant girl, of all people, want to help Naaman? Didn't she hate him and want to hurt him back? Didn't she want to make him pay for all those wrong things that he'd done? That's what you would expect. But instead of hating him, she loved him. Instead of hurting him, she forgave him. I want Naaman to get well, she said to her mistress. There's a man in Israel called Elisha who can heal him. I'll go, said Naaman, loading up his wagons and putting on his flashy armor. But I'll go to the palace, because that's where someone important like me gets healed. So he hurried off to Israel and went straight to the king. My healing, please, he announced. The king said, I can do a lot of things, but only God can heal you, Naaman. Just then a message from Elisha came. Send Naaman here to me. So Naaman hurried off to Elisha's house, but Elisha didn't even come out and greet him. He just sent a servant instead. Doesn't Elisha realize who I am? Naaman thought. But what the servant said next made him even crosser. Wash in there, he said, and he pointed to the river. Just wash? Naaman laughed. In that slimy, stinky river? He looked around to see if this was some kind of joke, but it wasn't. Any person can wash in a river, he thought. I am Naaman. I am important. I should do something important so God would heal me. And he rode off in a rage. Of course, you and I both know that's not how God does things. All Naaman needed was nothing. And it was the one thing that Naaman didn't have. God knew that Naaman was even sicker on the inside than he was on the outside. Naaman was a very proud man. He thought that he didn't need God. His heart didn't work properly. He couldn't feel anything. You see, Naaman had leprosy in his heart. God was not only going to heal Naaman's skin, but he was also going to heal his pride. Naaman looks miserable. He is really miserable. Naaman finally agreed to wash in the river, and instantly his skin became smooth like a baby. Naaman wanted to pay Elisha. God healed you, Naaman. You can't pay. It's free. And so it was that a very sick man was healed, all because of a little servant girl who forgave him. God knew sin was like leprosy. It stopped his children's hearts from working properly, and in the end, it would kill them. Years later, God was going to send another servant to forgive, as the little girl forgave, to forgive all of God's children and heal the terrible sicknesses in their heart. Their hearts were broken, but God can mend broken hearts. We have such an amazing God. He healed Naaman. He helped the little servant girl to forgive. And we need to remember these things, that God gives us the power to do the right thing. He gives us the power to forgive, and He is all powerful. He can make sick people well, and He can heal broken hearts. So we're just grateful to the Lord for this story about the little girl that forgave. I hope you have a wonderful day today, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Love you. Bye.